I'll be speaking with Hala Jadallah. She's Palestinian American. She's from Boston. She was born in the U.S. but has traveled to Palestine several times. She works for the state of Massachusetts in the criminal justice field, and she'll be giving an illustrated talk in New Haven this Saturday, October 28th. Good evening, Hala.
Good evening.
So when were you in Palestine this summer?
I was in there the whole month of July.
Mm-hmm. Was it a family visit or business?
It was just family visit. We go. My mom goes every few years, every other year, and then I go every 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
With her
What
sometimes.
part of Palestine is your family from?
We're right from the West Bank in Ramallah, 6 miles outside of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm. So you've visited a number of times before?
Yeah, I think I visited like 6 or 7 times.
Mm-hmm. So you were there when the Israelis attempted to put more restrictions on visits to Al-Aqsa, and people resisted. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't let any really young people in, so older women and older men could go in, but they would check their IDs from what I could see on the news. So the people who lived in Jerusalem could actually get there. And the people who lived outside of Jerusalem could not even get there. They actually, closed the checkpoint, closed the road. And so we got to Jerusalem within the first 2 days we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we couldn't go again. And this is the first time I've only been there once in my trip. Usually I go 3 or 4 times.
And you could get into Jerusalem because you have a U.S. passport, is that right?
I have a U.S. passport, but nobody could get in at all.
Uh-huh.
This time, not even if you had a visa to get in, you couldn't even get in.
Mm.
Didn't matter who you were.
And the Israelis were trying to put new restrictions because of an incident where, now it's going back months, I don't remember the details, but...
I think some guy, Palestinian or Arab, I don't know whether he was Christian or Muslim, he came out and he killed two Arab Israelis.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were putting restrictions. They wanted everybody to be... Since I work in the criminal justice field, when you come to our state building, you have to walk through a metal detector, like you're going in the airport. And this is what they wanted people to do every day, is to do that. And people were just not having it at a holy site.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to do it, so they stopped. So when they went to prayer time, they just went right to the front of the entrance of where the mosque is, and then they prayed right there.
And it was not a few people, it was like thousands, right, from the pictures?
Thousands. And even if they didn't go up and pray in front of there, they were praying on the sidewalks down below the gates.
Mm-hmm. So you were in Jerusalem a little bit, and where else did you go in your month?
We went on a bus tour. We go on a bus tour every year with a group called PACE, and they went to Berlin, Jifna. We went to the Jellozone refugee camp. We went to some other town where we had lunch. We went to Hebron, and Nablus, and Sebastia. We go everywhere. I like to go as many places as possible when I'm there.
Sure. Now, was it different this time than the last time, in mood or in things like that, things you can mention?
The mood was different a little bit because I've never seen demonstrations.
And all this time you've gone.
Yeah. Every time I go, I've never seen demonstrations. They resist by boycotting and writing graffiti on walls. This time I actually was in one of my mom's favorite restaurants in Ramallah, and there was actually some religious like a church group and some other people. They actually had a small demonstration, and the news came out and videotaped them, and they did a little demonstration. They walked through the town.
So you're talking about Christians then?
I'm just talking about people in general.
Uh-huh, I see.
I don't know if it was. I could tell that one was a priest, but but there was a group of people. There could have been a combination of. And when we were in Nablus, we saw even a bigger demonstration where they actually blocked the road, and they had one of those metal detector, body detector things that you walk in. They made a makeshift one, and it was more women than men because the men were at work, so the women were protesting, but there was a few men there, and they were protesting the having to walk through those metal detectors into the mosque area.
And in the end, the people were victorious, I understand. They eliminated those restrictions.
They eliminated those restrictions, thank God, but it took over a month before they even, when I left, the road wasn't even open. I went on June 26th, got there June 28th, was in the mosque, was at the area where the mosque is by the 27th or 28th, and, by the 29th or the 1st, and when I left on July 26th, the road wasn't even still open. This is the longest I've ever seen it closed.
Yeah. And you were telling me you had witnessed an arrest?
I witnessed an arrest. I guess I had walked my mom up into she went to go pray, so I went back to meet my aunt and a friend of ours, American, that we brought with us to see the country, and all of a sudden people were screaming and yelling, and they had ripped off, they ripped off this guy's shirt, and all I could see was he was behind a car, and they had handcuffed him, and there must have been 30 soldiers right there, and they blocked the road for a half an hour.
And where was this?
This was it was at, I don't know what the gate it was, but each gate has a different name.
Right. Oh, so this is Jerusalem.
This is right in Jerusalem. We were literally, steps away from the mosque.
And then you took pictures.
I took over almost 700 photos.
Great.
Lots of photos of delicious food, and you could see the soldiers, the scenery, the architect.
You're going to show some of them this Saturday?
I'm going to show, I've got almost 60 photos I'm going to show you.
Fantastic. Well, then I'm going to cut this short. I just wanted to give people a taste of the event that will be sponsored this Saturday at the New Haven Library at noon, 133 Elm Street. And it's free and everybody's invited. Well, thanks for talking, and we'll be seeing you on Saturday.
All right, thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.